Hey, it's your friend David. Hope you're doing well. This is Innova Radio. Today I want to look at some leadership lessons from the news for December 10th, 2025. We're going to talk a little bit about navigating uncertainty today. And so today we're going to look at some developments from across the business and tech world, including shifts in economic sentiment, the evolving role of AI, the importance of ethical frameworks, and the interplay between financial strategy and human capital. And we're going to be looking at risk management, again, that impact of AI, navigating regulatory challenges, it's a big word, and considering the vital connection between financial strategy and human capital. Let's dig in. So the idea number one, risk management and economic sentiment. Our first piece of news centers around a significant shift in global business confidence originating from Australia. Bloomberg reports on Australian business conference slides being released ahead of the final RBA meeting. This isn't about the Australian economy. It's a barometer for broader global economic sentiment, signaling businesses are grappling with considerable uncertainty. We're seeing a cautious approach to investment and expansion that's driven by inflation, geopolitical instability, and the ongoing impact of climate change. RBA's decision on interest rates, it's kind of the central bank here in the States. Their final decision on interest rates will undoubtedly be scrutinized, and the resulting impact will ripple through the business world worldwide. And so it's a fundamental leadership challenge. How do you manage risk when the future is inherently unpredictable? It's more than just about forecasting. It's about acknowledging potential disruption and building resilience into your organization. A leader's role here is to foster open communication around potential threats, encourage scenario planning, and ensure accountability for risk mitigation strategies. A robust risk management framework is not about eliminating risk. That's truly impossible. But it's about understanding the risk, quantifying the risk, and developing proactive responses. This requires a willingness to challenge assumptions, to embrace experimentation, and crucially, to hold individuals accountable for their risk-taking decisions. Better to take a risk and fail than to not take a risk at all. The current environment demands really a pragmatic, data-driven approach to risk, not a reactive panic. Second idea is around AI leadership and collaboration. So this is a dramatically different shift, dramatically different thought and perspective, but it's an equally crucial one. The accelerating impact of artificial intelligence. And Forbes recently highlighted 8 key skills leaders need to manage their new AI workforce. And I'll put a link in the show notes. We're not just talking about automating tasks. We're talking about integrating AI as a core collaborator. The rise of AI agents is fundamentally changing the nature of work, demanding a shift in leadership styles. The recent executive order from Trump, while impacting the broader landscape, underscores the growing concern for the ethical implications of AI, particularly in sensitive areas like mental health advice. This isn't just a technological shift. It's a philosophical one. Leaders need to be asking themselves, how do we ensure AI is augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them? How do we build trust in AI systems, especially when they're making decisions that impact people's lives? The key is to foster a collaborative environment where humans and AI work together, leveraging the strengths of each one of us. This requires a new skill set for leaders, one that emphasizes critical thinking, ethical judgment, and the ability to interpret and validate AI outputs and AI inputs, to be honest. We're seeing companies like OpenAI actively seeking talent. Denise Drescher, the former Slack CEO, is being brought in to lead global revenue strategy. That comes from Reddit. This demonstrates a recognition that simply developing the technology isn't enough. You need experienced leadership to translate that technology into tangible business value. Leaders need to be experimenting with different AI tools, identifying opportunities for collaboration, and establishing clear guidelines for their use. It's about building a culture of continuous learning and adaptation because the AI landscape is evolving at an astonishingly fast pace. In my work, I feel it, I see it. I have leaders asking me, so this can be an AI agent. You can create an AI agent to do this in a day, right? And I'm like, no. There's a lot of work that goes into creating an AI agent. There's a lot of work that goes into creating that. And it's iterative and it takes time. Once you get it done, then it can go off and do its job. But the planning, the development, all that takes a whole lot of work. It's not just something that can be done quickly. Now, let's move to regulatory and ethical frameworks. And a significant development in this area is the ongoing security of technology companies. The FTC recently upheld a ban on stalkerware founder Scott Zuckerman. This comes from TechCrunch. This isn't just a legal case, it's a powerful signal about increasing regulatory pressure on tech companies to address privacy concerns and prevent the misuse of data. The case highlights the critical need for robust ethical frameworks to govern the development and the deployment of technology. It's a stark reminder that innovation cannot come at the expense of individual rights and safety. That's huge. This case, coupled with the broader trend of increasingly regulatory scrutiny, we're seeing similar actions regarding data collection and algorithmic bias. All that underscores the importance of proactive compliance. Leaders need to be actively engaged in shaping the regulatory landscape, advocating for responsible innovation, and ensuring their organizations adhere to the highest ethical standards. Furthermore, the Lucid Motors case, a former chief engineer is suing for wrongful termination and discrimination. Again, that comes from TechCrunch. Demonstrates the potential for legal challenges related to diversity and inclusion within the tech companies themselves. And it reinforces the need for transparent and equitable hiring practices, as well as robust mechanisms for addressing discrimination and bias. It's not enough simply to comply with the law. Leaders need to actively cultivate a culture of inclusivity and respect, which will require ongoing training, diverse leadership teams, and a commitment to accountability. Now, we're going to shift gears again and talk a little bit about financial and human capital management. Let's talk about the practicalities of that. There's a growing need in the developing world, particularly in Saudi Arabia, towards digital solutions for nonprofit accounting. This comes from medium.com business. This demonstrates a recognition that technology can be a powerful tool for improving efficiency and transparency in the nonprofit sector, just like it is in the for-profit section. It's a smart investment in operational effectiveness, but this highlights a broader trend: the increasing demand for specialized skills in areas like data analytics and financial technology. And that brings us to OpenAI's recent hire that I mentioned just a minute ago, Denise Drescher, the former Slack CEO. She's being brought in to lead the global revenue strategy. And it's a clear signal that OpenAI recognizes the need for experienced leadership to translate the technology advancements into tangible business results. We talked about that just a moment ago. The ability to generate revenue from complex AI solutions requires a different skill set than simply just developing the technology itself. Again, we talked about that a moment ago. Leaders need to be thinking about how to attract and retain top talent in specialized areas, which means not just offering competitive salaries, but creating a stimulating and rewarding work environment. It's about fostering a culture of innovation, providing opportunities for professional development, and recognizing and rewarding achievement. Additionally, it's increasing the focus on digital transformation, whether it's in the nonprofit sector or within large corporations. That transformation is creating a significant skills gap. Leaders need to be proactively addressing the gap through training programs, partnerships with educational institutions, and strategic recruitment efforts. The gaps are in prompt development. The gaps, particularly in AI, it's in prompt development. It's in all the work that has to go into figuring out how to actually write the prompt. There is a huge amount of work on the front side of developing and using AI tools. There's a huge amount of work, and that's what AI companies like OpenAI and their hiring are showing us. And we need to be training in those prompt developments. We need to be training in the skills to plan and develop the prompting, and that helps us better develop the tools that we can then use to effectively run our business. Now, that's all the time we have today. For today, we've covered a lot of ground, from economic uncertainty, ethical implications of AI, and the need for regulatory frameworks. Our key takeaway is this: leadership in today's environment demands agility, adaptability, and a deep understanding of the interconnectedness of global challenges. Our actionable takeaway for you today is to identify one area of uncertainty in your own organization and develop a plan to address it. Don't wait for the crisis to arrive. Be proactive. Thanks for joining me today on Innova Radio. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, share. It really does help out. I hope you found this useful. And until next time, keep leading forward. Have a great day. Goodbye.